Hey guys, today we're checking out the Sniptera Imperial Guard from the Zoids Biographies line. We'll unbox the kit and I've got a whole bunch of comparison pictures for you, but I didn't film it in action because the wingspan makes this thing kind of a pain to film, and I already do have footage for the original Sniptera. That's in my review of that one, which I'll link to in the description below and at the relevant point in the video if you want to check it out. Also, yeah, I know, where the hell have I been? I'll talk a bit about it at the end of the video for those of you who actually stick around that long, but the short version is just busy with work. Nothing happened and everything's fine, I just haven't had time for this, and now I'm back. Speaking of which, let's get started here.
Robo Shop.
Alright, let's start with the box as per usual. If you've seen me do these reviews, then you know what I'm going to say. I really like these Biographies boxes, but I also don't know what to say about them. We've got the black silhouette of the Sniptera here. It says Sniptera Imperial Guard. This is number 5 in the Zoids Wild remodel series. It says Zoids Wild Biographies here. I still don't understand why they call this Biographies and then the numbering is in ZWR for remodel, but well, that's what they're doing. On the sides, as usual, there really isn't much of anything, and the box looks exactly the same as always. So let's crack this box open, shall we? We have the instructions here. One great big bag of parts and the gearbox. Hold on. The gearbox is right here. The usual standard Zoids Wild gearbox. So let's do the instructions first. I think this guy doesn't come with any extra parts. It's just a recollar. Get this out of the bag. And yeah, these are just the standard Sniptera instructions. You guys probably know by now if this came with extra parts, then there would be a second instruction booklet that shows how to add those parts. So let's just take a look at what's in here, shall we? The A-back doesn't seem to have anything particularly noteworthy in it. We have A1 and A2, and this is just all the mechanical bits and all of that stuff, and it's in the standard sort of light gunmetal color that we're used to seeing. So I'm going to keep these in the bag. Here we have, whoa! Let's take a look at that. In the S-bag, we have, in fact, for the first time in the Biographies line, we have a set of Empire stickers. That's new. These, the remodel series so far has come without stickers. Eyes are silver, and then we have the usual stuff in the S-bag. The caps are in this pink color. And the rest is light gray, more or less the same as the gunmetal parts, but not metallic. And in the B bag, we have all of the armor parts. The pilot seat, at least I think this is the pilot seat, is loose. It's a much lighter blue than I expect. It's sort of a pale baby blue. Looks pretty good though. And then we have one of these with all the parts packed separately so that the paint job doesn't get damaged. I'm gonna open this up. Let's take a look here. The guns appear to be, this is weird. You can see here that the plastic is apparently actually blue and then it's painted over. You can also actually see a little bit of the blue in this very deep recess here, but there's no color separation. They're just painted in this solid gunmetal color. So let's take a look at the armor pieces. I think these are all painted. Yep. The wings have this light blue trim, and the thrusters, turbines are painted silver. Next we have the wing tip piece, which is pretty much split in half. Light blue here, darker blue here. And finally, the head armor has all of the colors. This is the this is the gunmetal color that the Gatling guns are in, and then of course we have the visor, which is metallic red. We have the light blue here, and the piece is actually molded into darker blue color that the entire kit comes in. And really, to be honest, that's all we need to look at in this unboxing. We've already seen all the mechanical bits in my review of the standard Sniptera. So I'm just going to get this guy built so that we can take a look at what it actually looks like. And let's start with comparisons. Here's the original version of the Sniptera. Obviously, you guys can judge for yourselves, but I think it's pretty clear that the painted parts add a lot of, let's say, perceived detail to the model. Here's a comparison of the two in walking mode, looking as goofy as ever. The Biographies version does have the two separate modes, of course, but like I said in the intro, I didn't film any motion footage for this one. You can check it out in the link that's popping up in the top right there. Now, for no particular reason other than I really like this one, here's a comparison to my NJR Reynos. As you can see, the Sniptera absolutely dwarfs it, but which of them looks better is, let's say it's a different matter. And while we're doing classic flyers, here's my dusty ass salamander because it's blue and it has wings, I guess. I think the wingspan of these two is about the same, with the Sniptera maybe being a bit wider, but of course the salamander pretty much towers over it otherwise. Now, aside from the two modes, this Sniptera also has the same gimmicks as the original version, which means that it has this weird scope on the head that folds forward like so. This is kind of reminiscent of the scope on the Koenigwolf's head, but it makes even less sense here because it's not in front of the cockpit. I mean, is the idea actually that the Zoid aims through this and the pilot just lets it do its thing? And here's the other gimmick that I'm pretty sure I actually forgot to mention in my previous video. You can fold the top and bottom halves of the head backwards like this to fire the cannon in the mouth, as seen in the anime actually. And that's all I've got for this one, really. Now, the big question is, of course, do you need this one? And the answer is, do you like what you see in these pictures? I think if you're a fan of the Sniptera, this is clearly the superior version. Takara Tomi's been doing a really good job using these pre-painted parts in the Biographies line, and pretty much all of them have looked better than their original counterparts. I also personally just like this pale blue color much better than the original Sniptera's red. At the same time though, that's really all this one has going for it. There are no new parts or recolored versions of previously released add-on weapons or anything else that's new about this. It's just a really nicely executed collar variant. So if you already have a Sniptera and an airbrush, or color schemes generally don't matter much to you, I don't know that you really need this one. And personally, I'm going to be honest, as much as I appreciate the engineering that went into the Sniptera's separate walking and flying modes, and the fact that it probably has the best flying mode out of any winged Zoid in the entire 40-year history of the line, I still feel like they've pretty much sacrificed everything else here because the thing is ugly. And if they just hadn't bothered with the walking mode, which doesn't look very good in action or standing still anyway, they could have made a much better looking Pteranodon Zoid with really nice flying movement. Does this look significantly better than the original version? Absolutely. But it still has pretty much everything I didn't like about that one as well. And that's it for this one, folks. I already have the Psycho Genospino waiting in the wings, and things have calmed down a bit in general, so I'm kind of hoping I can get back to reviewing stuff regularly for you guys. Just to be clear, there's no problem other than me being too busy with the job that actually pays the bills, and I still have a big, huge, gigantic Zoids collection that I can show off. I'm still pre-ordering every Biographies kit that comes out, and I still love doing this. I just haven't had time these last 2 or 3 months. It feels really great to be back at it again, and I'll have more coming, so you should be subscribing right now if you haven't already, and you should check me out on Patreon. I may actually have some news about that soon, but we'll see. Let me get that Psycho Spino out of its box first. In the meantime, as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.